What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I made a video, but I haven't really had time to go fishing and actually make some videos. Did you see what happened? I went to Cedar Springs, Georgia and did a job, and then had to come home, and as soon as I came home I had to start getting this camper ready to go out here to Mississippi. I'm actually in Monticello, Mississippi, which is just past Hattiesburg. But go back to Georgia. They told us last minute that they needed us to go do a job in Georgia, and all the hotels were either booked up, really expensive, or they were roach coaches. So I found this camper for $2,000 up around Tuscaloosa. So I went and looked at it. It was nice. I mean, it needed work. It's an 89, so it needed work. But it's a nice camper. So I bought it, brought it home, registered it, insured it, and I took it to Georgia. Did nothing to it before we went to Georgia other than change the sheets, put some fellas in there, some blankets, and that was it. That was my trial to see what I needed to do and figure the ins and outs of it. And while I was there, I stayed about a month in this thing with two people, me and another guy up here in the front. And it was alright. I didn't have any AC in it. From factory, this thing does not have AC. No heat, no AC from factory. But the nights were still cool, and during the day when we were at work it was hot, but it didn't matter because we weren't there. We just needed somewhere to sleep. So, that was alright. Well, whenever they said we were coming to Mississippi, we had about 3 weeks in between. 2 to 3 weeks in between those two jobs. I was working around the house, and I completely remodeled this entire camper. I took the front bunk up here, and I turned it to my entertainment center. I'll show you that in a second. Well, I'll just do a whole walk around the camper in a minute. And I added a portable AC in here because it wasn't too hot without the AC. But there's a few things that I learned about these pop-ups that really help control the temperature in here. And I wasn't planning on remodeling the whole thing. The only reason I remodeled it is because we had a real bad rainstorm come through, and I needed to pop the camper up to clean it and get ready to come out here. And when I popped it up, there was water all over the floor, and the roof was sagging, the ceiling. So I realized I had a leak somewhere. So I ripped the entire ceiling out and realized there was no insulation up there. So that wasn't helping anything. So I ripped all the paneling that they had up there out. I put up some 3/4 inch foam board, and then I put up 3/8 plywood. But I also added deck boards running across the ceiling here. Here at 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, and then at the 8 foot mark. And then around the perimeter. That way, whenever I get ready to put the roof rack on, because I'm planning on putting the roof rack on it, I have something to mount it to that's sturdy. Because I want to be able to haul my kayaks on top of this thing. But after I got the ceiling fixed up, I lowered the roof down and I patched the roof. Because there's a seam that goes right down the middle of these campers, the pop-ups, the old pop-ups, where the two aluminum pieces join. Well, that was what was leaking. So I sealed that up. I got it nice and dry now. I've sat through a couple of rainstorms, make sure it was dry before I did anything else. And then while I was at it, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to use the sink. I'm not going to use the cooktop, because everywhere I go has shower houses. I'm going to have me an outdoor sink to wash dishes on, but for showers and all that, I just park by the shower houses. There's one right here, less than 50 feet away from me. So I didn't need a sink inside. I didn't need a cooktop, because I cook outside on the grill all the time. When I'm out of town, if I'm in a hotel or if I'm in the camper, it does not matter. I cook on the grill. I don't like stinking up the inside of where I'm sleeping at when it's one room with the smell of food, coffee, or anything like that. So I do my coffee, my cooking, and everything outside under the canopy that I got. And so I took that countertop out and I put a 1/2 inch board that was 2 foot by 4 foot. I cut it down to fit. I rounded the edges, I rounded the corners, I sanded it, I burned it with a torch, then I stained it and sealed it. And it came out really nice. When you see the walk around, I'll show you. And then I took the mattress from the front, because I converted that to the entertainment center area, and I double stacked it on top of here. This is what they call a full, but a twin mattress, a twin XL mattress fits it. So it's pretty much a twin XL. And for temperature control, like I said, I put a 1/2-inch foam board in the ceiling. They have this stuff called Reflectix, and I have a piece right up here, as you can see it right there in the corner. It's basically 2 pieces of aluminum foil, bulb wrap in between them, and it reflects heat away or towards, whichever way you face it. So I cut it and put it in all my windows. All my windows around this thing have it. I put this piece up here because that bunk was getting a little warm. So until I get my pop-up gizmos, which cover the bunk ends to reflect the heat away from the bunks, I put that there to kind of help with insulation just a little bit. It does help a little bit, but not as much as I'd like. So I added the Reflectix into the windows all around, and that really dropped the temperature a lot. Then I added the AC in here, and during the day, and keep in mind I'm in Mississippi. During the day, with the AC running, this thing averages about 80 degrees inside, and outside it's about 100 degrees. So that's a 20-degree difference, which is real noticeable. But at night, I'm getting down to the low 70s, high 60s in here. I have a thermometer right here, so I can monitor the temperatures in here. So it's real comfortable in here now. But I figured while I was at it, I'd make it real homey, and because it's gonna be my home for the next couple of years, maybe a year and a half. Who knows? I might buy another camper, make it long term, or I might just stick it out in this if I don't mind it. Which I don't mind it right now. I kind of enjoy it. It's my little home away from home. But either way, I wanted to make it more homey than it was, because the way that the person before me did it, everything was white, and I have nothing against the color white. My wife wanted an all-white kitchen. I can't stand everything to be white. My favorite colors are grays and blues. So I found some gray paint in my shed that I had bought for another project, and I don't remember what I bought it for. One of the rooms in the house that never got painted or something. And I painted the inside of my camper, the gray color. It's not too dark, it's not too light. I still got to go around and do some touch-ups and redo some of the trim. I still have some final touches to do. I painted the ceiling gray. I got these little tops here that I'm going to redo when I get a chance. I still got to do the floor. I plan on adding some insulation on the underside of the floor when I do it. That way it kind of gives me a little bit more thermal barrier on the floor also. But when you're in the South down here, that's Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, any of those states like that, it gets really, really hot and humid. So any little thing you can do to help with that temperature and that humidity makes a big difference. So I've got the Reflectix in the windows, I've got the insulation in the ceiling, I'm going to do the insulation on the floor, I'm going to do the gizmo deals on the end, and along the edge of the door here, it's got snaps that hold the, this is vinyl, not canvas, but it holds the vinyl to the door. Well, the snaps added little like ripples in the vinyl along the door, so it was letting airflow. So I took some duct tape, because I'm going to be here for a while, I took some duct tape and I sealed it. It's working out real well. So that's how I'm controlling the temperature and the humidity in here. And the great thing about this campground that I'm at right now is I'm a football field away from the river. I can walk to the river every day after work and go fishing. I just went and got my fishing license today, so be on the lookout for some new fishing videos. That's what I'm going to be able to do soon. There's a few more fishing videos. I actually just came across the fly rod setup, so I'm going to be learning how to fly fish, because I want to catch a couple of brim and a couple of bass on fly rods. But my big goal that I want to catch on a fly rod is a redfish. I really want to catch a redfish. I want to go back to South Florida and catch a snook on a fly rod. That's a goal of mine. So maybe sometime this year we can make that happen. But like I said, I'll give you a tour around the camper. It's not the cleanest right now, but I did tidy it up a little bit. So I'll give you a tour right quick. Oh! I got the bed right here. This is the sleeping area. It's double stacked mattresses, like I said. You got double stacked mattresses right there, and it's real comfortable. Believe it or not, they're only like 2 inches thick, but they're really, really comfortable. And then you got where I keep my clothes at and everything. It's my clothes and my towels and all that stuff. This is that top I was telling you about that I made to replace the sink and the cooktop. It came out really nice. I'm really happy with it. I got my crock pot in here, just because I'm not going to leave that outside, but coffee pot, my grill and all that stays outside. Got the Wi-Fi box, that way I have internet. Food storage area. This is the entertainment area I was telling you about. You got portable AC I stuck over here. That thing, I got it on Facebook Marketplace, brand new, still in the box. I think I got it for like $100. It has heat, AC, dehumidifier, the works. That is the best AC I've had that has been a portable unit. Don't mind the mess there. I got my GoPro stuff, got my dirty clothes bag, my trash bag, toiletries, my work boots and all that, my Xbox, my TV. It's just like, that's extra storage back there, entertainment area. That way I can keep track of where everything's at or keep it semi-organized. It's like I said, this is not a massive camper. This is not a massive camper. It's 17 foot folded out from bunk end to bunk end, but you can't really count those because it's just bunks. The actual camper itself is only about 8 foot wide by, I think it's right at 6 foot wide, 5 foot wide, so I forget what it was, but and it's really